What is up, you beauties? My name is BatchatBegins, and welcome back to another video. Today we are taking a look at and reviewing one of the weirdest tank destroyers I think I have played in World of Tanks Blitz to date, and that is the Object 263, the Russian Tier 10 TD, the brother of the 268, and I can't help but not really enjoy this tank all that much. It's limited both by the gun depression and the gun arc of the tank. As you can see, the gun arc is about 15 degrees left and right, which gives you a very narrow firing angle for this tank, and it has very, very little gun depression. It would make the WZ-121 very happy that it has 5 degrees, because this thing is just poor. I believe it has 3 degrees total, and that's just not enough to work in a lot of situations. And so you really get stuck with this niche that 263 drivers are stuck in, where it's all about DPM. But the problem is, there's a difference between DPM and what is called effective DPM. A DPM is your flat-out DPM. It is firing on reload for the entire minute, and that gives you your damage per minute figure, which for this tank is really high. It's 3,900 damage per minute, almost 4,000, which is ridiculous, absolutely crazy. But when you take a look at what's called effective DPM, that's where the tank starts to let you down a bit. What is effective DPM? Well, I've said it before on this channel. It is how effectively you can get shots in and how consistently you can get shots onto targets that you're facing. With the lack of gun depression, the fact that this is a TD and it can only fire right in front of itself in that 15-degree gun arc, you're going to have problems. You can't stay hull down all the time, and you're going to have to play on flat ground very often because of the 3 degrees of gun depression. So this thing's effective DPM is not very high. You really have to be knowledgeable about where you play this tank and how to put it in situations where you're just facing one enemy and not the rest of the team. As you can see out here, I am thinking about moving back and potentially getting out of this situation, because all too often you'll find yourself in a position in the 263 where you can finally shoot at somebody, but then the rest of the team starts to rush you and you absolutely get destroyed because this thing doesn't have as amazing armor as you'd think. All you have to do is shoot right above the gun normally with either AP, APCR, or heat, and it will normally go in, or you shoot the bar that is just below the gun mantlet, or you shoot the lower plate. It has several frontal weak spots, plus it has side armor and rear armor that can be HE'd very, very easily. So what are the real upsides of this tank? Well, if you're able to platoon in it, this thing can absolutely carry a game. Because of that DPM that this thing has, it will absolutely shred enemy teams, and you should be able to work well with pretty much any tank that you are platooned with, whether it be a heavy, a medium tank, a light tank, or another TD. That DPM of yours and the other platoon mate that you are working with gives you the confidence to go ahead and take on multiple tanks at once, because they're going to be able to help you go ahead and clear people because of your good DPM and semi-reliable armor. The 62A that I'm playing with was able to go ahead and secure the medium flank while I held mid, and I just isolated what targets I knew I could isolate and worked positions that I knew I would be able to use my gun depression in. And that's really what you have to know when playing the 263, that this is the thinking man's tank. It might be called the YOLO wagon, but if you YOLO without a purpose, you are hampering your team and you're effectively making them fight 6v7 in every match you play. So think first, position well, and go ahead and exploit weak points in teams. Shoot isolated opponents, use that armor, and back your team up when possible. But don't go in first, lose all of your HP, and then be useless for the rest of the match. That is absolutely infuriating to me, and it is infuriating to your teammates as well. I know that for sure. On this map, I can tell you I wasn't very happy to see it because I'm not a big fan of Normandy. The 263 cannot work well on this map. It is all hills in the middle of the map, all gun depression positions, and as a TD, you're either relegated to playing immediately on the front line or all the way at the back. Very, very stale gameplay, but the important thing we're going to do here is have patience. When we see that there is a spot that we can exploit in the enemy team, we are going to go ahead and jump on that and try to take as much HP off the enemy as physically possible, and we get that opportunity nearly immediately after getting into position. The Leopard and the Foch have no idea that we're here, and we're going to go ahead and try to bleed the Leopard a bit before he gets into cover. As you can see, the Leopard is now down to a one-shot, and the Foch still doesn't know we're here because we are positioned a little bit far back in the bush with our camo net on. And as you can see, I was going ahead and prepping to move down in the bush, but as he doesn't know where we are in the bush, because of that camo net, we're easily able to go ahead and farm damage on him. And this is important. It's farming with purpose. We're not losing, and so I can maintain my spot at the back here and go ahead and help our team take out 2 of the enemies very, very quickly. And now that I am going ahead and finishing up that farm, and we've gone ahead and taken care of those 2 enemy tanks, I can now move to the front line, because I have teammates that can go ahead and take the aggro of the enemy tanks. And this VK is right next on my list. But I'm not just focusing the VK, I'm keeping an eye on my surroundings. I can see that there's a Jagdpanzer coming up to the right, so I backed up just enough so that the hill was covering my tank and he could not shoot me immediately. And as I've said in the How to Tank guides, you should always try and waste the repair kits of enemy tanks, because at that point, they can't repair any fires and or module damage that they receive, which greatly influences your ability to go ahead and take them out on the battlefield. As you can see, once we had wasted the repair kit of the Jagdpanzer, he had a damaged driver after that, and that can render a Jagdpanzer player absolutely useless and give us the upper hand in this game. As you can see now, the E100 seems intent on going ahead and focusing us, so we are going to wiggle and move around and cause as much of a distraction as physically possible to have him bounce his shot. And that's important in the 263, is being able to go ahead and be a nuisance, because as you can see, they're focused on me right now. And I don't have a problem with that, because I am quite survivable with this tank. They might take me out, but they are going to eventually lose to my team. And thanks to the quick DPM and the teammates that are still alive, thanks to our early positioning, we are easily able to take down this battle with only 3 teammates lost, and 5.3k damage done with a mastery badge in this tank on a map that I don't think it really would have done well in otherwise. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this review. All relevant links will be down in the description below. Make sure to like, subscribe. We're going to try and hit 2k by the end of the year, and I will see you guys in the next one.